In Volume 2 of the Marketing tab, we're going to learn how to create custom campaigns. But first, we need to learn how to create a letter to add to that custom campaign. So what we're going to do is come up here and jump into the Email tab. That way we can get into the letter library. The letter library is going to house any letters and folders that you create, while also housing preset letters. Now, if we click on Letter Library and we scroll down, we're going to be able to see a lot of those preset or stock company letters. Now, this stock company letter library has 4 pages and 38 total preset letters. Now, if I click on Preview, we can see that they are similar, if not identical, to the letters in the stock campaigns that we looked at in the previous volume of video. Therefore, we won't be looking at the preset or stock letters. What we want to look at today is how to create a new letter, create a letter folder. Of course, you can delete the letters and you can move letters into other folders. So if we want to first create a letter folder, I'm going to click on Create Letter Folder and I'm going to name this New Letters and click on Create Folder. So now I have a folder with no letters. So what I want to do is come down here and click on Create New Letter. Now this is going to give me the opportunity to create something completely custom, completely from scratch. Now if I click on Select a Category, I'm going to click on New Letters because that is the folder in which this letter is going to reside. Now I'm going to come down here to Title and type in newsletter, because this letter could be the creation of a newsletter that I want to send out monthly or maybe even weekly, perhaps quarterly. But you can create a letter based on anything you wish. It could be an anniversary, it could be a birthday, it could let people know that you are changing offices, that you're moving to a different company. The letters can be whatever you want them to be, and that is the point of custom drip marketing campaigns. Since we've already categorized this letter, and since we've already given it a title, the subject can be more specific to the contents within the letter itself. So in the subject header, I put in monthly newsletter. But again, as a custom letter, this can be whatever you want it to be. Now we can bring in images. Again, we've already demonstrated this on the previous video, but I just wanted to reiterate how custom you can actually make this. In fact, this is very similar to the template we looked at in the postcard section of the Volume 1 video. Along with Image Library, you also have this toolbar right here, which is very reminiscent to the toolbar on a Word document. Again, something else that we discussed in our previous video. So if I actually click on this image and I actually drag this image into the body of this letter, I can come up here and align this letter. But what I can also do is manipulate the size of this letter by using these toggle boxes here. All I have to do is click on the image itself and bring it down however I see fit. That way the size is more proportionate to the letter itself. Now at this point I can either insert a link or I can come down here and begin entering text. So it really just depends what you're trying to accomplish with this newsletter. Now if I'm happy with what I've added here, I can click on Add Letter. And now that I've added that letter, it's going to be here under my new letters folder. So I can choose to edit this. I can click on this box and click on send. And now I can send this letter out to somebody specific, or I can go into my groups and click on all contacts and send this out to almost 1,500 clients, just like that. So what LeadStreet has done is made it very easy for you to create your own campaigns and also create your own letters. So now that we've learned how to create the letter and how to create a folder for your letters, what we want to do next is come over here and click on Marketing. Now we're going to cover the area that we passed over on the previous volume. We're going to scroll down here past the stock campaigns and click on My Custom Campaigns. So create custom campaigns, we're going to click on this link. So the first thing that we want to do is name this campaign. If you look over here on the left hand side of the screen, you're going to see 3 easy steps. Number 1 is set up. Name your campaign and select a campaign type. Number 2, schedule. Add letters to your campaign and schedule when they are sent out. 3, refine. Further refine and adjust your campaign. Since the previous letter I created was called newsletter, type in the word newsletter right there. That way it's titled. Now if we scroll down, we're going to learn a little bit more information. Select what type of campaign this will be. Add to group. Add to group campaigns are triggered once you add a client to a group. Letters are sent based on how many days after the client was added to the group. So that is something you control. Fixed date. These campaigns are based on specific dates. And finally, sign-up campaigns are triggered once you accept a user as a client. Letters are sent based on how many days after the acceptance date. The sign-up campaign is only for leads accepted. Therefore, if you accept a lead, then that lead would automatically be enrolled in this specific campaign if you set one up. I know in a previous video we've talked about uploading a client database to LeadStreet and making them web clients, similar to a lead. However, if you upload clients from a database into LeadStreet and make them web clients, that technically is not considered a sign-up. And those new clients uploaded manually will not receive this specific campaign. You will have to build a completely different campaign for all clients that you manually upload from another database. So just to be clear, in order for the sign-up campaign to be triggered, you must accept a lead, and then this will be triggered for the specific date you wish to be sent after accepting that client as a lead. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate how to create a fixed date. So if I select fixed date and click on continue, this campaign has now been created. So this is the initial setup. Confirm your setup. Please check that the below information is correct and click continue. I see that it's named newsletter. Yes, that's what I called it. Campaign type is fixed date. That is correct. So what I'm going to do, if it was incorrect for some reason, I could hit back. If I see that there was a typo or I misspelled or I want to rename, I can always hit back. I can cancel. In this case, we're going to continue so that this campaign will officially be set up. And now what I want to do is I want to select from my letter library. Again, it's going to show all of those stock preset campaigns. Again, the whole point of a custom campaign is to allow you the ability to be creative, to create something from scratch. So we probably wouldn't want to look at some of those preset or stock campaigns because again, we might as well just use one of the stock campaigns rather than using one of our own custom campaigns and or custom letter. So we want to bypass the stock letters and go directly to our letter, which is newsletter. Now we just previewed, but if you do want to preview, if you've made a series of letters and you would like to see which ones are which, if you can't remember what the letter looked like that you would like to use, you can always choose preview. To preview the letter, we just click on the letter that we want to use and click preview. As we learned in the previous video, the preview will not reflect whenever this is delivered to the recipients. So they will see the actual newsletter. So let's go ahead and close out this preview. And since we selected this newsletter, all we have to do is come down here and click on continue. Now that we hit continue, we can always change the date of this letter. So if we want to change, we can click on reschedule and change the date of this newsletter delivery. So now that we have added this letter, what we want to do is come over here and click on finish. And now we're finalizing the campaign. And once this is finished, we'll be able to add our recipients. Now that we have it finalized, let's scroll down, click on recipients. And now what we can do is click on either one of our groups. So either all of our groups, new web clients, opportunities, or received clients. And once we add those recipients directly to this custom campaign, we can come over here to modify and turn this campaign on and select update. And now that we have updated this information, we now have our first complete custom campaign with its own letter, and we're going to be able to send that out to the recipients that we have either uploaded into our system or received as leads. And of course, we can either send this out to a group or we can send them out to recipients individually. This concludes Volume 2 of the Marketing tab.